ask you, let me tell you, congratulations on your new show.
Thank you very much.
How big a Thor fan are you? Were you a comic book geek?
My comic book geekdom, when I was growing up, I was sci-fi, D&D, video games, computers. My best friend, this kid named Mike, when I was 10 years old, took me into his attic. And everything was separated by crates. And here was the Marvel Universe and here was the DC Universe. And every week he would go buy two of everything. One that he never took out of the Mylar, and the other one that he would very gingerly take out and read, but still put back so that he could retain a near mint condition. And I saw that and I said, I don't think I can do that. He scared me away from, because that was my first impression of comics, that like this is what I have to do with comics. So it wasn't until much later that I started reading comics like, oh, you can just enjoy these. You don't actually have to treat them like they're museum pieces. Mike is probably a very rich guy by now because he had everything from the 70s and the 80s.
And his mom never chucked them away like mine did.
No. I don't think his mom ever chucked them away. When I think back and I threw out the Darth Vader helmet, the action figure carrying case that had all the action figures in it, like all that stuff, all my original computers, like all my old TRS-80s, like, it's just a pile of stuff. But yes, now and then in my later years, our comedy theater's at the back of Meltdown Comics is a comic book shop, so it's sort of I'm surrounded by it.
Well, we love you on Talking Dead. How many of your guests appear drunk each week?
Only one that I can think of at the moment. Allegedly.
Allegedly, okay.
Allegedly. That was really fun. I think we determined that maybe Marilyn Manson was Bob from Chattanooga, the guy that called at the end of last season and was like, there will be a reckoning, or whatever. I'm like, oh, that was probably Marilyn Manson. I don't think, he didn't seem malicious in any way during commercial breaks. He wasn't confrontational at all. He had points to make.
He did.
Yeah.
Now, the obligatory, if you were a superhero, what kind of power would you want?
I always go back and forth on this one. I feel like when I have superhero dreams, it's almost always Spider-Man dreams. It's almost always the organic web shooters, not the mechanized web shooters. But I do keep going back to Wolverine, too. Doesn't every kid want to be like a Deadpool, where you just get a bunch of them? Where you just, because you want Xavier's mind control, but then you want Wolverine's eternal regeneration powers. But then I also want to be able to climb up onto buildings at the same time.
Are you friends with Tom Bergeron? Because we feel that there's a connection there. You and Tom Bergeron, I think, are the quickest, cleverest hosts of shows.
I love Tom, but I've only met him once, like 14 years ago. I did Hollywood Squares, and he was hosting it.
Oh, okay.
And you spend a whole day.
I must have missed that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably did. But it was really fun. That was right after I worked for MTV. That's what you did. Yeah. When you weren't working, you would go do Hollywood Squares. But Tom was really funny. Like I'd never really watched him before then, but he was making all these Python references, and I was like, oh man, I really like this guy.
Yeah, he seems
So I'm very pleased that he's sort of taken over that section of the hosting world.
He has. He's got ABC all to himself.
He really does.
So, but you've got AMC and Comedy Central now, so you're doing okay.
I'm very happy with the little piece that I've carved out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations and thank you
so
for
much.
spending time with us.
I appreciate it. Nice to see you.
You too.